how wonderful dogs could truly be. They can do so much for people. You could be in the worst mood where people would say, "Oh, stay away from them. They're in a bad mood," but not your dog. The dog doesn't care if you're in a bad mood, a good mood, or even a sad mood. The dog will come to you and show you unconditional love, even when you push them away or yell at them. They will come right back to you and show you that they still love you no matter what. They just want you to know that they are there for you whenever you need them. More so if this dog of yours is a service dog. Many different companies that breed service dogs are more commonly using golden retrievers, Labrador retrievers, the cross between the two breeds, and German shepherds. These breeds are the most suitable for being service dogs. Although these dogs are the best for training, not all the dogs make the cut. The trainers of these companies only want the best for service dogs, for the handicapped people that they are serving. All the dogs are taught at least 40 basic tricks in assisting a handicapped person, including tugging, pulling, and retrieving. Then, when the dog is paired with the child, they are then personally trained with the child so that the child can get used to giving the dog commands and the dog can get used to taking orders from the child. When the child is at the training facility, the trainer gets to see what specialized tasks the dog needs to learn for that particular child's needs. Not every child is the same. Every child is different. Now imagine if you were a child with a disability and that dog of yours is a service dog. Can you imagine not being able to do a simple task such as getting a shoe from across the room? Well, with the service dog, they can assist you by getting that shoe for you. The dog retrieving the shoe for you is one less struggle that you would have to face that day. These service dogs can do so much more for you than just show you loyalty, love, and affection. Some service dogs can even save a child's life. Being that I am a person with a physical disability, I know how wonderful any assistance could be. When it comes from a dog that is helping you, you tend to feel a little more secure. They give you that extra assistance without having to keep asking another person to constantly help you. Today, I'll be discussing service dogs and why they benefit children with handicap or disability. How the service dog boosts the child's confidence, and why children with disabilities do not feel as depressed when they have a service dog. Children with disabilities would benefit in many ways with having a service dog. Children with disabilities will feel more independent. The child will no longer have to rely on help from their parents. The child will begin to feel free and more independent. Daily tasks like turning on and off a light switch will no longer be a struggle for the child, now that they have a service dog trained to do that. The child will no longer need as much assistance from their at-home nurse. The child will no longer feel like they are being babysat every day. This is especially great for the children that are in their teen years. They may have felt different not just because of having a disability, but because another person always had to be there with them, just in case they needed help with something. Many children choose service dogs over having aides following them around. Having a service dog makes a child feel less stressed in a social environment with their peers. With having this new sense of independence with the service dog rather than an aide, the child begins to try new things. They begin to feel this new capability to venture out of their normal everyday routine. They begin to try things and push their abilities. Many times they push their abilities to the limit. Many doctors tell parents, your child will never be able to do this or do that. When the child has a service dog, they often reach higher goals. They tend not to let their disability get the best of them. They try to push themselves. For children who are in wheelchairs and stayed away from trying new things, for they didn't want to keep asking for help if they dropped something or needed something from far away, they would cue their dog. The dog will retrieve the item. And again, that's one last thing the child needs to focus on, giving the child more time to move on and try something new. Due to the child feeling more independent while having a service dog, the child begins to feel more confident. When trying new things and the newfound confidence, it becomes a self-esteem booster. The confidence comes from the dog at this point. The child does not just view the dog as another to assist them, but views them as a friend. The dog is someone the child can always rely on. Anyone who knows how easily Anyone knows how easily you could become your dog's best friend. When you pair a child with a disability and a service dog, they seem to have a closer bond than most human canine relationships. The child now having a friend, it is sad but a true fact that children with disabilities have less friends than other children. For the child, the dog is their best friend and a family member. For the dog knows it is helping and gets love and attention back as its reward. The dog becomes one of the child's best friends. For children, the dog boosts confidence. For adults, yes, it's a friendship, but the adult knows that the dog is merely there for assistance. Like children, adults also use service dogs to assist them. The dog is more than assistance, they become a friend. The adult knows that the dog is a tool for getting around. For the child, the dog is more of a friend than a tool. The child loves their dog and even hugs their dog. When hugging anybody, your body releases endorphins, which makes the child feel emotionally better. Many people do not understand why a child without a physical disability would have a service dog. Just because you can't see something doesn't mean that it's not there. There are many different reasons why children have service dogs, and there are many different kinds of service dogs out there. Service dogs are for blind, physically disabled, and autistic children. Therapy dogs are for children with emotional disorders that suffer from depression, anxiety, or panic attacks. There are balance dogs for people who have unsteady gait like myself. There are also hearing dogs, medical dogs, and many more kinds of dogs that can assist a child. Allergy dogs are the least known kind of service dogs. Dogs are trained for a child's specific needs. If a child has a peanut allergy, the dog goes around sniffing and eat everything to make sure that it did not come into contact with peanuts. They sniff seats, tables, menus, and even the food to make sure that it is safe for the child to touch or consume. If it has come into contact, the dog will alert the child. The problem is, many restaurants do not allow dogs, even if they are service dogs, into their restaurants. Even though the dog is highly trained and knows not to bother any other people or eat the food that has even fallen on the floor, restaurants won't allow them because of health codes. Besides, many people have allergies to dogs, and the dog hair is being a problem. But if the child does not have a service dog with them, they may have a severe enough reaction where the child can die. More places need to lift their ban of not allowing service dogs into their facilities. Many stores have signs that say, "No service dogs allowed. If you need assistance, that is why we are here to help you." But does the store clerk really know how exactly a child needs their help? Children should not be forced into leaving their service dogs outside. They are there to help them. That is what they do. Service dogs help children in many different ways. Service dogs do so much for children with disabilities that when they do not just assist them, the child benefits from the service dog. They make the child feel more confident, and there are many different reasons besides just being blind or in a wheelchair why a child will have a service dog. Service dogs help children. Any way you can help would be great. Fostering a dog, training a dog, or even donating money. You're not just helping a dog, you're helping a child in need. I want to thank you, my audience, for taking the time to listen to me.